this is Jo from Math Tutor Me. We're doing ratio and rates, and this lesson we're focusing on speed. Speed is a special type of rate, and to calculate speed we use this formula here. Speed is equal to distance over time. Now we are going to be doing questions in this section of work where we actually need to calculate either the distance or the time as well. So there's a little triangle that I want to draw for you to help you remember how to change your formula around. So speed is equal to distance on the top over time. Okay, that's the formula that we already know. If you want to find out what time is equal to, you cover up the T with your finger. It is equal to distance over speed. If I want to calculate the distance, I cover up the distance. Speed and time are next to each other, which means I need to multiply them. It's speed times time. Okay, so memorize that little triangle and it will help you in this topic. Let's look at the examples. Number 1, calculate the speed in kilometers per hour. A car travels 300 kilometers in 4.5 hours. Well, we know that speed is equal to distance over time. So the distance that the car has traveled is 300 kilometers, and the time that has taken was 4.5 hours. Okay, so all I have to do is divide 300 divided by 4.5, and I get 66 we'll do one decimal place. That will be a 7 kilometers per hour. Let's look at question 1 part B. A car travels 180 kilometers in 1 hour and 45 minutes. Well, we can't have different units here. We can't have hours and minutes. We need it all to be in hours. So I need to change this 45 minutes into hours. There is 60 minutes in an hour. So if I take the 45 and divide it by 60, we get 3/4. So this is actually the same as 1 3/4 of an hour. Okay, now we're ready to do our question. We want to calculate the speed. Speed is equal to distance over time. The distance this time is 180 kilometers, and the time is 1 3/4 of an hour. Okay, let's divide that. 180 divided by 1 3/4 equals, let's go with our one decimal place, 102.9, because it would need to round up, kilometers per hour. Alright, question 2. Find the distance travelled by a cyclist that rides for 3 hours at a speed of 16 kilometers per hour. So it is saying find the distance. Okay, I'm after distance this time. So remember I said if you want distance, cover the D, and it's speed times time. So I'm going to write that down. Distance is equal to speed times by time. Now the speed in this question was 16 kilometers an hour. The time is 3 hours. Okay, so just make sure hours and hours, as long as they're the same unit, we're okay. So we just times 16 by 3, which gives us 48. That is the distance. The units will be the same as the units here, kilometers. He travels 48 kilometers. Question 3, find the time taken. All right, we want time. So we cover the T and we get distance over speed. Time is equal to distance over speed. All right, we know we need that. For a train to travel 450 kilometers at 75 kilometers per hour. So my distance is 450 kilometers. The speed is 75 kilometers per hour. Let's divide them. 450 divided by 75 gives 6. T is equal to 6 hours. That unit comes from there. Question 4, we want to write 68 kilometers per hour in meters per second. So we break this rate here back into a fraction, 68 kilometers in 1 hour. I need to change the kilometers into meters and the hour into seconds. Okay, so there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer, so times this by 1,000 to put it into meters. To change hours into seconds, we have to times it by 60 to put it in minutes, and times by 60 again to get to seconds. So there is 3,600 seconds in an hour. Then we can divide 68,000 divided by 3,600 gives us 18 point, okay, again we're going to have to do 88, so round it up, be 9 meters per second. So 68 kilometers per hour is actually 18.9 meters per second. Okay, so this is your turn now to practice what we've just learnt. Pause the video, try these 4 questions, and then restart the video to see the answers. A bus travels at 576 kilometers. A bus travels 576 kilometers in 8.4 hours. Calculate its speed in kilometers per hour. So just to have this little diagram nearby, I'll write it again. Speed is equal to distance over time. We are trying to find the speed. Speed equals distance over time. The distance travelled was 576 kilometres, and it took 8.4 hours. We divide those numbers and we get 576 divided by 8.4, 68.6 kilometres per hour. In question 2, a car travels 86 kilometers per hour for 3 hours and 25 minutes. How far has the car travelled? How far means it's asking us what is the distance. Distance is equal to, cover that, it's going to be speed times time. But before I can do that, I need to have this all written in hours, okay, because this was kilometers per hour, so I need my time to be in hours. So 3 hours, 25 minutes. To change 25 minutes into hours, we divide it by 60, and it's 5/12 of an hour. So that's 3 5/12 of an hour. Okay, it's just under half an hour, isn't it? 25 minutes. So speed was 86 kilometers per hour, and time we need to use 3 5/12. Times those two numbers together, 86 times by 3 5/12 equals, to one decimal place, 293.8, and the distance, the units, was kilometers. Question 3. A man jogs for 8 kilometers at 9 kilometers per hour. How long does it take him correct to the nearest minute? How long means we're trying to calculate the time. Time is equal to distance over speed. Okay, our distance was 8 kilometers and our speed was 9 kilometers per hour. Now, if we divide 8 divided by 9, we get 0.88888. Lots of 8s there. Now, I'm not going to round it yet because that will keep going. This is actually in hours because hours is the unit in my speed here, so that's hours. The question actually asks for the time to the nearest minute. So let's change this to be in minutes. To change hours into minutes, there is 60 minutes in an hour, so we times it by 60, and that gives us 53.333. But it said the nearest minute, so because that's less than a 5 there, that 3, we're just going to cut that off there. So it would be 53 minutes to the nearest minute. Question 4, write 18 meters per second in kilometers per hour. Write 18 meters per second. We're breaking them apart, breaking the units apart, so per 1 second. We want to change it into kilometers and hours. Now, to change meters into kilometers, we actually need to divide by 1,000, okay? Meters is a smaller unit. To change it into kilometers, we have to divide it. Okay, so that's going to give me a little decimal here, 0.018 kilometers. Okay, to change 1 second into hours, now you think a second is very, very small compared to an hour. First of all, I need to divide by 60 to turn it into minutes. And I need to divide by 60 again to change that into hours. And it's a very small fraction there. Or I have a decimal, but that's actually in scientific notation. As a decimal, you put 4 zeros. That -4 means we need to move the decimal point 4 places in front of that. It is 0.00. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then 2, and the 7, 7. It's going to keep going on like that. So that decimal point has moved 1, 2, 3, 4 places. It is a very, very small number, okay, to change that into hours. Okay, now keep that number in your calculator because I still need to use it to divide these. And it's better to have the exact answer in your calculator, otherwise you get some little rounding errors. So we type in 0.018, and on my calculator I can type divide by answer to use my last answer from the calculator, and that will equal 64.8. Exactly, a nice number after having that long decimal. 64.8 kilometers per hour. So that was a bit of a challenge there at the end. So be very, very careful when changing from meters per second to kilometers per hour. You get some very small little numbers in here. Okay, so that's the end of our lesson today. I'll see you next time. Bye.